A dusty, chaotic market, filled with the hum of voices and the clatter of stalls. Amid the crowd, a tiny German Shepherd puppy cowers in a cramped cage, eyes wide with fear, unnoticed by the world. Then a young girl stops dead in her tracks. Her heart races as she locks eyes with the trembling pup. What happens next will tug at your heartstrings and leave you speechless. Stick around, because this story of courage and connection is unlike anything you've seen before. This is the story of Maya, a 12-year-old with a fire in her soul and a love for animals that burns brighter than the sun. Maya wasn't looking for a life-changing moment that day. She was just tagging along with her mom to the local market in their small town. A place where vendors hawk everything from fresh produce to handmade trinkets. But this market had a darker side, a corner where animals, often neglected, were sold under the harsh sun. Maya had passed by this corner before, but today, something felt different. As she wandered through the maze of stalls, a faint whimper caught her ear. It was soft, almost drowned out by the market's chaos, but it hit her like a lightning bolt. She followed the sound, her sneakers kicking up dust, until she found it, a tiny German Shepherd puppy, no bigger than a loaf of bread, curled up in a rusty cage. Its fur was matted, its ribs visible, and its eyes, those big, soulful eyes, begged for someone to care. Now, let's pause for a second. Imagine being that puppy. You're alone, scared, and the world feels like it's forgotten you. That's what Maya saw when she knelt down in front of the cage. She didn't see just a dog. She saw a life, a beating heart, a creature desperate for love. Maya's mom, noticing her daughter's fixation, warned her, "We can't save every animal, Maya." But Maya wasn't listening. She reached through the bars, her fingers brushing the puppy's trembling nose. The pup didn't pull away. Instead, it leaned into her touch, as if it knew this was its one shot at a better life. The vendor, a gruff man with a clipboard, barely looked up. "That one's weak," he said. "Won't last long." Those words lit a spark in Maya. She wasn't just going to walk away. She couldn't. But what could a 12-year-old do in a market full of adults who didn't care? Keep watching, because Maya's next move is where this story takes a turn. Maya stood up, her jaw. She didn't have money, and her mom was already shaking her head, thinking of the bills, the responsibilities, the reality of taking in a sick puppy. But Maya had something stronger than money. She had determination. She turned to the vendor and asked, "How much?" The man smirked, naming a price far beyond what Maya could dream of affording. "Take it or leave it," he said, turning away. Most kids would have given up right there. But Maya wasn't most kids. She spent the next hour weaving through the market, talking to vendors, asking if anyone would help her buy the puppy. Some laughed, others ignored her. But one old woman selling handmade scarves saw the fire in Maya's eye. She slipped Maya a crumpled bill enough to cover half the puppy's price. It was a start, but time was running out. The market was closing, and the vendor was already packing up. Would Maya lose her chance to save this puppy, or was there something else she could do? Maya's mind raced. She remembered a story her teacher once told her about a boy who raised money to save a park by telling everyone why it mattered. Maya didn't have a megaphone, but she had a voice. She climbed onto an empty crate, her heart pounding, and started talking. "This puppy doesn't have a home," she said, her voice shaky, but growing stronger. "It's scared and alone, and it deserves a chance. Please, help me save it." A few people stopped, then a few more. A man tossed her a coin. A woman handed her $1. Slowly, a small crowd formed, drawn in by Maya's raw passion. By the time the vendor noticed, Maya had enough money to meet his price. She marched back to the cage, handed over the cash, and unlocked the door. The puppy stumbled into her arms, licking her face as if it knew she was its hero. But this wasn't the end of the story. Oh no, it was just the beginning. Hope. The first few days were tough. Luna was weak, barely eating, and Maya's mom was skeptical. "This dog might not make it," she warned. But Maya didn't give up. She spent hours researching puppy care online, learning how to nurse a malnourished dog back to health. She mashed up soft food, sat with Luna through the night, and whispered encouragements. Slowly, Luna started to change. Her fur grew shinier, her steps steadier. But what happened next was something no one could have predicted. Not even Maya. One morning, as Maya was getting ready for school, Luna did something extraordinary. She didn't just wag her tail or bark. She grabbed Maya's backpack in her tiny jaws and dragged it to the door, as if saying, "I'm ready to go with you." Maya laughed, tears in her eyes. This wasn't just a puppy anymore. This was a partner, a friend who'd fight to stay by her side. That moment at the door was a turning point. Luna wasn't just recovering, she was thriving. Maya started training her, teaching her simple commands, like sit and stay. But Luna had a mind of her own. She'd surprise Maya with bursts of playfulness, chasing her own tail or nudging Maya's hand for more pets. The bond between them grew deeper every day. Maya's mom, who'd been hesitant, started to soften. She'd catch herself smiling as Luna bounded around the backyard, full of love. But there was something else about Luna, something special that Maya hadn't fully realized yet. Luna seemed to sense things, almost like she could read Maya's emotions. When Maya came home upset after a bad day at school, Luna would curl up beside her, resting her head on Maya's lap. It was as if Luna was saying, "I'm here for you just like you were for me." But the biggest surprise was still to come, and it would change Maya's life forever. One afternoon, Maya took Luna for a walk in the park. It was a normal day, kids playing, dogs barking, the sun shining. But then Luna froze, her ears perked up, and she tugged Maya toward a group of kids playing soccer. Maya tried to pull her back, but Luna was insistent. That's when Maya noticed a little boy, no older than 6, sitting alone on a bench, his face buried in his hand. Luna broke free from her leash and ran to the boy, nuzzling his arm. The boy looked up, startled, but then he smiled, the kind of smile that lights up the world. His mom, standing nearby, explained that the boy, Ethan, had autism and struggled to connect with others. But with Luna, he was different. He laughed, petted her, and even spoke a few words. Something his mom said was rare. Maya watched, stunned, as Luna worked her magic. How did this puppy, once so broken, know exactly what Ethan needed? And that wasn't the only time Luna showed her gift. Word spread about Luna's ability to connect with people. Soon Maya was getting calls from parents, teachers, even a local therapist, asking if Luna could visit kids who needed comfort. Maya and Luna started visiting schools and community centers, where Luna would sit patiently with kids who felt anxious or alone. Maya learned that German Shepherds are known for their intelligence and loyalty. But Luna was something else entirely. She had an instinct for empathy, a way of making people feel seen. Maya, inspired by Luna, started a small club at her school called Paws for Kindness, where kids could learn about animal care and volunteer to help strays. The club grew, and so did Maya's confidence. She wasn't just the girl who saved a puppy anymore. She was a leader, a voice for animals and kids who felt overlooked. But Luna's biggest moment was yet to come, and it would bring this story full circle. One evening, Maya and Luna were at the market again, not the dark corner, but the main square where a community fair was happening. The same vendor who'd sold Luna was there, his stall now empty of animals. Thanks to new local regulations, Maya's club had helped push. As Maya walked Luna through the crowd, a commotion broke out. A toddler had wandered too close to a busy street, and her parents were frantically searching. Before anyone could react, Luna sprang into action. She darted through the crowd, her training kicking in, and gently nudged the toddler back towards safety, barking to alert the parents. The crowd erupted in cheers, and Maya's heart swelled with pride. Luna, the puppy once deemed weak, had just saved a child. The vendor, watching from his stall, shook his head in disbelief. Maya caught his eye and smiled, not with anger but with triumph. Luna had proven him wrong in every way. This story isn't just about a girl and her dog. It's about what happens when you listen to your heart, even when the odds are against you. Maya didn't have money or power, but she had courage and a belief that one small act could change a life. Luna's journey from a neglected puppy to a community hero shows us that every living thing has potential, if given a chance. And here's the deeper truth: kindness ripples. Maya's act of saving Luna didn't just change one life. It touched Ethan, the toddler, the kids in her club, and an entire community. You don't need to be rich or famous to make a difference. You just need to care. So next time you see someone or something in need, think of Luna and ask yourself, what small act of courage could you take today? Conclusion and call to action. 2400 25. Luna's still out there, spreading joy, and Maya's still fighting for animals who need a voice. So what's your Luna moment? Maybe it's volunteering at a shelter, helping a neighbor, or standing up for what's right. Share your thoughts in the comments. I'd love to hear how you're making a difference. And if this story moved you, hit that like button and subscribe for more stories that remind us of the power of compassion. Until next time, keep shining, just like Maya and Luna.